Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Southside Beat here on the DK Pittsburgh Sports Steelers YouTube channel and podcasting network. Chris Halicke, Matt Williamson, both here to discuss Pittsburgh Steelers football post-training camp. Matt, did you enjoy the time out in Latrobe?
As usual, yes. I enjoyed it quite a bit. The dorm beds, and I got the smallest dorm room on the planet, got a little old. Wasn't wonderful. Not great for podcasting either. Not the best acoustics. But all in all, Sharkies, football, being around the team, it's hard to beat it, you know?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun days, a lot of uncomfortable days with the weather, with the heat and the humidity.
Yeah.
Kind of got some bookends for that. Like we started out that way, like really hot, really humid, just horribly uncomfortable, like heat indexes near triple digits. But then we had a good week or so of nice weather, not too hot.
Yeah, it was pleasant for a while.
Yeah. Really, really nice. Like almost feeling like fall might be around the corner. And then we got a quick reminder, it's still August. The last couple practices were quite uncomfortable, just like everything started out. But
training rain early on too. We had a practice. Yeah, got screwed up and
it's like it's funny, like it like we were having rain like crazy, and then like I think like today is like the first day it's rained in August so far.
Okay.
Like it's crazy, like how we were just like rain, and then just all of a sudden just nothing until today.
Yep.
But training camp's in the rearview mirror. We still have 2 preseason games to go. There's a joint practice with the Buccaneers tomorrow at Acrisure Stadium. I'll be there. DK will be there. Can't report on anything unless we get stuff confirmed by players, because just that's how practices are during the season, or just any private practice. But still learned a lot about this team, and the way I kind of wanted to put it today was, who are the winners, who are the losers, who are the players that really stood out either in a really good way or in a really bad way. And I have a hard time coming up with, like, when I think about winners from training camp, thinking of a player that probably personifies that better than Aaron Rodgers.
Tend to agree. Now, it's clear that he just on the field, I mean, he throws the ball better than the other guys. He's more talented. He's more accomplished, of course.
Yeah.
But I will say, just being around him, and I didn't speak one word to the guy. I was just really impressed with the way he handles his business, his intelligence. He is very engaged at all time. He's very deliberate with everything he does, it seems, on and off the field. And you can see why people flock to him. You know what I mean? You don't have to agree with everything he does off the field or whatever, but man, he is impressive to be around, and he obviously has a massive resume he brings with him too. Yeah,
well, as one who was in those media scrums and talking with Aaron, I get the sense that it's not an act. I don't think he cares enough about the media to put up a facade. I just don't. I don't think he cares enough about that. I think he's going to tell it like it is a lot of the time. The only difference between Aaron Rodgers talking with us and the way he talks on Pat McAfee was the lack of cuss words.
Okay.
I really that's the sense that I got. He's going to call it like it is. He's going to shoot straight. Like, even whenever somebody asked a question like, "Hey, you said this," and he's like, "Did I say that?" And he'll kind of like he was shooting straight with everything, but then also to hear the way that his teammates talked about him. Listen, that's all the kind of stuff you kind of want to hear about the quarterback, the guy who's going to be the leader of the team. But then, this is the best quarterback this team's had since Ben blew his arm out.
No, 100%.
I mean, like, that's the quickest way and the easiest way that I can put it in terms of, like, what should you expect from the quarterback position with this team, with Aaron Rodgers at this stage of his career, being 41 years old, who, like, what level of quarterback play? It's hard to put a finger on it, but what I can say with both experience, football intelligence, what he's able to do pre and post snap, what I've been able to lay my eyes on, and still being able to throw the ball at a very, very high level. He's the best quarterback the Steelers have had since before Ben blew his arm out.
Yeah, I 100% believe that's going to be the case. And I think you and I've had this conversation. Last year when Russell Wilson got here, it was like, wow, that's pretty cool. That's Russell Wilson. He's Super Bowl champ. He's probably going to the Hall of Fame. He's really impressive. I like how he engages his teams. I said a lot of the same stuff. And even on the field, like, he throws the ball pretty well, blah, blah, blah. This is better, though. It just is. I mean, I think he's more impressive. Obviously, his career to this point, he looks better on the field. I think he's even smarter, more experienced, wiser, better leader, all those things, and that's not a knock on Russ. I mean, this is just one of the best that's ever done it.
Right. J Moods puts it this way: if we get 75% of his MVP season, we win 12 games. Now, the one thing you have to put into account is which MVP season, because he won 4.
A few of them, right? That's a good point.
But 2021, I'm going to assume that's the most recent one, which was 2021. And I think the way I put it in talking with DK was if they get 80% of that Aaron Rodgers, this is a Super Bowl contender. Like
I tend to agree
with what they have defensively, with the weapons they do have on offense, which I understand there's a lot of talk still about WR2. Are the Steelers going to add another guy? Now Odell Beckham is being thrown into the mix because of this stuff he said on Bill Maher's podcast.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, he talked about how he's been having conversations with Rodgers. He still wants to play, and who knows? I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest. But even outside of that, they have DK Metcalf, they have Jonnu Smith, they have Pat Freiermuth. They've got weapons that Rodgers can throw to. And Calvin Austin, I think, needs to be thrown into that mix as well in terms of being like legitimate guys who Arthur Smith can use. And I think he has a vision for how he's going to use them. But yeah, if Aaron Rodgers is the type of guy who will be competent almost all the time, and then he can put on the cape 4 or 5 times a game and make that insane Aaron Rodgers play, that's what I would define as 80%, 85% of being that MVP guy. And with everything else the Steelers have, they could absolutely be playing deep into January.
I definitely think above the neck, he will be that MVP guy. Now, some of that, it's almost a different category, but will he stand tight in the pocket and take hits? And that we don't know. We just don't know. There was some of that he didn't love for sure this last year in New York. They're not hitting him in practice, and he's not going to play the preseason, so we're not going to know that till we get there. But one way I structured it was Mike Sando just put out his quarterback tiers, where he polls the league, and Rodgers came in at 16th. And I did my podcast the other day and basically said to our audience now, would you take it if he ends up 16th? And 80% of them said, yeah, that's a heck of a lot better than it's been, which is 100% true,
Yeah.
And I think he could be 10th or he could be 22nd,
Yeah, it's very true. Really, really quick before we go to break, question from Brian here. Here we go. Brian asking, does Aaron Rodgers at this point in his career still have more mobility and arm strength than Brady and Manning in their prime? Well, he's always been more mobile than Brady and Manning.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that.
I think he's probably more mobile now than they were in their prime.
Yes, yeah, and
Brady has a bigger arm than he gets credit for.
That's true.
Yeah,
But also, Rodgers is still slinging it.
Yeah.
Still got plenty of arm talent, arm strength. He's still making some throws even in practice that are just.
And comparing them to those two, they didn't have all the multiple arm slots and all the different clubs in their bag. They were precise throwers, but it came out the same every time, which was wonderful. But he just does it differently.
He does. And we have seen plenty of those like sidearm type throws and guys hitting guys on crossers and it's crazy. All right, well, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna continue to go through some of the players that really stood out, both in the good way and in the bad ways. There are some really interesting players, and I have a quasi hot take on one of them. So we'll come back and talk about it right after this.
At DK Pittsburgh Sports, we take pride in coverage that connects our city's fans to their favorite teams. Now, that connection's stronger than ever. Introducing our all-new state-of-the-art app. Find expert inside reporting and original podcasts. Check live box scores. Track the latest stats. Chat it up with our community of thousands of fans, all in one place. The new app from DK Pittsburgh Sports. Coverage that connects.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Southside Beat here on the DK Pittsburgh Sports Steelers YouTube channel and podcasting network. Winners, losers from training camp. Another winner to me. Guy who I'm going to say, this is not my hot take.
Okay.
Second best player on the team, Jalen Ramsey.
Oh, I think he was the best player in Latrobe this year.
Yes. And I don't think TJ Watt was really trying to do almost anything.
No, that doesn't mean that those guys stink all of a sudden.
No, but Jalen Ramsey looks insane. And I don't even think he's trying. That's what's scary about it.
Yeah. It kind of feels like they've already shut him down just because, like, we've seen enough. You're dominating everything. We get it, you know?
I mean, it's like he showed up day one and just started making plays, like getting interceptions, getting his hands on the ball, shutting down DK Metcalf like it was almost nothing. I'm like, dude. And yeah, I don't think, like, I think Mike Tomlin, like, if he had his way, he's like, no, I don't need to see anymore. Like,
that's the feeling I've got. Yeah,
I don't want you to practice anymore. I want you to be healthy for the season.
Mm-hmm. Like, we really got a special player here. I've seen all I need to do, just get him to the starting line, you know.
And the thing is, and this is kind of where my hot take is. I don't want to say hot take, but I think when you thrust him into the category I'm throwing him into, it might get people to go, whoa, okay, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the way the Steelers are going to use him, lining up in the nickel, playing free safety every now and then, being able to bounce outside, being able to play kind of all over the place. This is going to be the most versatile weapon this defense has had since prime Troy Polamalu.
Absolutely. And as versatile as Troy was, he was never a man coverage guy or, you know, I'm not saying this guy's better than Troy Polamalu. I mean, Troy's better near the line of scrimmage and playing the run, and obviously they're different positions. But this guy has a different style of versatility, too.
Yeah.
I think we know this answer, but I just wanted to confirm it with you. When four defensive backs are on the field, when they're in their 3-4, he's never leaving the field, period. But I assume it'll be him, Elliott, Slay, and Porter, and he'll play free. You think that's pretty much set in stone at this point?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
100%.
so too. Yeah.
So when they're in 3-4, yes, Ramsey will be the free safety, Elliott the strong, and then Porter and Slay on the outside. When they're in nickel, Ramsey is the slot. Dime, same thing, and then Brandon Eccles would most likely come in and be the dime back.
Dime, I think he's gonna be the sixth guy.
Yeah. So that's pretty much
Thornhill obviously being the fifth guy off the bench.
Yeah, absolutely. Like when they're in nickel, you've got Thornhill and Elliott at safety. Thornhill is going to be your center field type. You know, if you're in cover one, cover three. And then if you're in cover two, you know, doing whatever, you know, or in quarters, obviously. It's funny because, like, if you're in quarters or palms or anything like that, like, I'm assuming that your three that you're going to match up with, because those are all, you know, match quarters, like Porter, Slay, and Ramsey are all going to be matching.
Yeah.
Like, and then Thornhill will be the other guy possibly back there matching, and then Elliott would be closer to the line of scrimmage. So it's just like, I just, when I thought about it, I'm like, who's the last guy that could be this versatile? I was thinking like Minka in 2019, but I'm like, man, I think this is a bigger impact than Minka in 2019. I really feel like this is the type of player that, like, special player that can kind of be a threat from almost anywhere on the field. And the last person that really did that for the Steelers was Polamalu whenever he was in his prime.
Yeah, and you laid out the roles really well there, but they also could really just vary week to week. Man, Mark Andrews is killing us. Jalen, go follow him around. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, you know.
So he was on the pivot with Ryan Clark and Channing Crowder and Fred Taylor, talking about, like, you know, who's CB1, who's CB2, and Ramsey, of course, is saying like, I'm the top guy here, and it's saying that like Porter's like, no, I'm the top guy. Is like, listen, come on, man. Like I appreciate it, and I love to see that fire, but no, I'm the top guy. And like the question was actually posed like, okay, well, when the Bengals come to town, like who's covering Jamar Chase? And he's like,
you notice I didn't bring Chase up. I mentioned Andrews, right? Because I thought about it. Right.
But I mean, Jamar Chase,
one of them has to like lock down Chase either,
But I mean,
they're going to battle a lot.
They're going to battle a lot.
And Chase operates out of the slot more than ever,
Yeah, this is going to be a situation where you're going to see Ramsey like playing around a lot. And I from what I saw in training camp, I think he's still very, very much a top 5 corner in the league. And then it would not surprise me if he's first or second team All-Pro this year. Like,
no, me neither. That would not surprise me one bit.
All right, let's get through some of these other guys. Well, first, like for you, who really stood out one way or the other? Really good or really bad?
Ramsey's the one that just jumps off the page to me. Is like, wow, he's
insane.
Really a great player. I guess some low-hanging fruit, I would say Faltanu.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I would say he's definitely. I was on Mark Madden's show just recently, and I said I think him and Frazier will both be consensus top 5-6 players at their respective positions by midseason. I already think Frazier's there, to be honest with you. Y.A. Black absolutely stands out to me in a very, very positive way, including the snaps against the Jaguars. I thought he was phenomenal, to be very honest with you.
Yeah.
A lot of little things. Like, I was sitting there when we said what we were going to talk about today, I was just kind of going position by position. Like, Gainwell's feet and receiving ability is better than I thought. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Splitting them out in the slot, doing wide receiver things with them, even being in the backfield with Warren or with another back. I could throw a lot of little nuggets about a lot of different players. Like, man, Gainwell's shifty and quicker than I thought,
Yeah.
Washington. I was trying to beat you to it because I'm sure he would have come up.
Literally a cheat code at this point.
I mean, that all about?
When you get to 1st and goal on the 3-yard line, I just want to see Darnell Washington line up, split out wide, and just throw 3 straight fades in a row. He's gonna catch one of them.
And you know this, but they're doing 3-by-1 sets with him being the one, like he's Travis Kelce. I mean, like,
yeah.
And it makes all the sense in the world. I mean, he just mossed Slay the other day, and the coverage was great. But what are you going to do? It's like me playing against my son when he was 12 on the hoop court,
Seriously, like it's really, really crazy. Of like, yes, like we know what he can do as a blocker, and he's still going to be doing that as a blocker.
And he's awesome at it.
Man,
yeah,
he has really, really looked different as a pass catcher, like as a route runner, and like
down the field too. Like average depth of target is going to go up a lot.
Yeah, he's a cheat code at this point until proven otherwise. Another guy who really stood out to me in a good way, and it's only because, well, obviously he looked good in terms of playing, but it's also the way he's playing and the confidence level, and that's Peyton Wilson. Like,
good one. Yeah,
I thought Peyton Wilson. He's playing with an edge we have not seen, or we didn't see last year. I'll put it that way. I'm not saying he didn't have it at NC State or anything, but like I'm talking to him like earlier on in camp, and I'm going to paraphrase what he said, but it's not that much of a stretch. Dude, I won the Butkus and the Bednarik like my last year in college. I was named the top defensive player in the nation and the best linebacker in the nation. Like, I'm
good.
Very good. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like, and it's not like he's just being arrogant. He's just playing with that type of confidence. And so if you get that guy next to Patrick Queen, who I think Patrick Queen's going to be way more comfortable this year.
I do too.
And so like when you look at that potential duo in the middle, that could be a whole nother part of this defense that's not being talked about enough.
Yeah.
And I really think Peyton Wilson's, he really impressed me during training camp.
That's a great one. I was going to bring this up, and I think we've talked about it before. Their numbers versus slot receivers were really, really poor. A very high percentage of the yardage they gave up were to slot receivers. Well, insert Ramsey. I meant to bring it up before. But it's also a linebacker and safety stat, too. You know, I mean, it's not like a slot corner is playing man against whoever lines up in the slot, whether it's a tight end or receiver or whatever. And I do think the middle of the field in general, where I'm going with this, is the middle of the field should be very strong in coverage.
It should be. I mean, when you look at everything that you possibly have with Ramsey in the slot and Peyton Wilson and Patrick Queen, who are both good in coverage, and then you add in Juan Thornhill, who that's another guy to me, by the way. Juan Thornhill looks more than just a pro out there. I mean, he looks like the guy that played for the Chiefs. Now, it could have just been that he wasn't healthy in Cleveland. It also could be the fact that just some guys go to Cleveland and
I think the organization is healthy. Yeah.
Right. So maybe it's just he needs to go play somewhere else that's not Cleveland, because he does not look like the guy that played in Cleveland last year. He looks like the guy that had 8 picks in 4 years for the Chiefs. That's who he looked like.
And I'm not saying he's going to be Minkah, but it makes that trade way more palatable once they got their hands on him to say, oh, we may have stolen one here. We can afford to move on from Minkah to make this deal happen and get both those versatile pieces on each side of the ball. And I already knew the answer when I brought it up, basically, for who are the 4 defensive backs going to be.
Yeah.
But I would also accept the answer if the Steelers said, we're gonna take Slay off in 4. Ramsey's going to go outside in Porter. We want Slay to be as fresh as possibly can at his age, deep into this, and Thornhill and Elliott are going to be the safeties. Okay, I understand that too.
Yeah, if you have like a player or two, here and there where you do that, you can get away with it.
Yeah,
because typically corners don't play 100% of the snaps. I do think that if any corner has a chance, it's going to be Ramsey.
Yeah.
But yeah, there could be, and shoot, man, like as much as it even though it sounded like we'd be out of our minds a few months ago, there could be times where they tell Joey, hey,
yeah, that'd be fine too.
Need you to take a play off here. We're going to let Ramsey and Slay do their thing. You like I understand Porter's like the young guy that they're kind of developing into that guy, and he's already really good in man coverage, but shoot, man, like when you have Ramsey and you have Slay, and Slay is still a really good man coverage corner, and Ramsey still looks like a top 5 corner in the league. Like, good Lord, embarrassment of riches at cornerback. It's crazy. It's
so much better than it's been that maybe any time since Mel Blount or Rod Woodson. Or
I'd say
ever.
Since Rod Woodson. I think I don't think the cornerback position has been this strong since they had maybe it was Rod Woodson and Cornell Lake.
I mean, he was mostly a strong. I mean, he played some corner,
right?
Had to, but I mean, they've never had a second corner like this guy.
Well, actually, so what I'm thinking is, wasn't it the year that Woodson tore his ACL that Lake switched over to corner?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so like maybe Willie Williams was the other guy across who was a good corner, sure, but he was never all pro.
No, like I said, they've never had 3 big time guys. No. I'm not saying any of these guys are Blount or Woodson, but I mean. Ramsey's career is
Ramsey's going to be. I mean, we're talking serious gold jacket potential with Ramsey, and even Slay will probably get some discussion too. Let's see. Okay, some guys who maybe didn't have the best camp, and maybe just because of the way the roster is constructed, I'm not so sure about them right now. Beanie Bishop is probably the one that jumps off the page to me.
I was going to mention that too, and part of it is just the Ramsey trade that I think only 2 of these 3 can make the team.
Yeah.
Bishop, Trice, and Pierre.
Yep.
And they all bring something totally different to the table. But Eccles' ability to play the slot too, and Ramsey's your starting slot. I think Bishop's probably the short guy out there,
So, and that was so when you talk about those 3 guys, because you're talking, okay, the Steelers are probably going to keep 6 corners. Your top 4. And by the way, Brandon Eccles probably another guy.
Clearly number 4.
Yeah, I mean, another guy who had a great camp, by the way, Brandon Eccles. So you have your top 4. So choose 2 of the other 3. What do 2 of them have in common that one of them doesn't? 2 of them are versatile, can do multiple things. Trice is can play on the outside. We haven't seen him play in the slot or anything, but so I'm not even going to say that against him, but I think he can, but we haven't seen it, so I'm not going to just say he can. But he can also play special teams.
Yeah.
James Pierre plays on the outside, a bit of a liability there, but can play on the outside in a pinch, and he's really, really good on special teams.
That's his beauty. You know?
Beanie Bishop plays in the slot, and that's it.
That's it, yeah.
We're talking when you have Ramsey, who's going to be your slot guy, and even whenever he's not in the slot, and you need a slot, Brandon Echols can be that guy.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. A lot has to happen for Bishop to influence a game.
The one thing that could change
Trice
that,
is 6'2".
Right?
And then Bishop isn't. But
the one thing that can change that, and Jim brings it up here, Trice just needs to see the field.
That's what I was going to say.
Has to stay healthy, and I would even put
the Steelers doctors might be like, I have no faith in keeping this guy in the field, and like, oh, then we're going to cut him.
Well, and that so it's funny because I had a buddy who works for the Fan down in Dallas, like reach out to me and be like, would the Steelers trade one of their corners, not top 3 or like even Echols, for Tolbert, the receiver there? And I'm like, well, which corner? Like he said Beanie or Trice. I'm like, I would give away either in a heartbeat for Tolbert.
Yeah, I don't know. They both have such a long way until they see the field.
Right.
I mean, probably neither is active on game day anyway, and Pierre would be.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we're talking Pierre. I mean, 5 corners usually are active, and Pierre will be active just because of what he can do on special teams.
Mm-hmm. He's your 5th corner. If it gets to that point in the game, you're in trouble, but he's on it. Right.
Right.
Bad injuries if he's on the field.
It's bad injuries, like if James Pierre is seeing the field on the outside. But yeah, so I'd put Corey Trice in that category as well, just because, it's so unfortunate because he looked really good to start camp, like just as he did as a rookie. He came in, he looked really good in camp. Then he had the knee injury that ended his season. This year he comes in, starts off, looks really, really good. He's making plays, he's flying to the ball, he gets his hands on the ball, and then pulls the hamstring, and then he's been just MIA since then. And it's just
and after a while you just stop having patience for those things,
Yeah, especially when it happens 3 times in his like each season.
Right.
And they love the guy. Like they love him.
The thing, yeah.
And they love his work ethic. Like his work ethic. I don't think I've heard like any like a player's work ethic be talked about amongst other players more than his.
Really?
But good Lord, like the injury prone stuff, like you have a hard time avoiding the injury prone label when you can't stay healthy.
Well, I mean, Steelers Nation's losing their mind. How'd this guy last the 7th round?
This is why.
Stay in the field. It was the same problem.
Exactly why.
Right.
Anybody else who you think is like in some serious trouble of not making the roster, or you just wanted to see more of in camp?
It's unfair, but Caleb Johnson hasn't blown my doors off.
Okay.
As a mover. And why I say it's unfair is because he's not showing the opportunity to really break tackles and wear defenses down and do what he's brought here to do. I didn't think he'd look like Barry Sanders or Gale Sayers out there, but I think he's fine. I just didn't look at him and be like, oh man, that guy's gonna win Rookie of the Year,
Right.
Other receivers not named Metcalf, I think, qualify. Not that Wilson's been bad, but it's definitely the biggest hole in the team.
So I literally did this on our app on DK Pittsburgh Sports, and I was going through like this. I was naming Beanie, I was naming Trice. I named DeMarvin Leal as another one.
I asked him what to do with him. Now he's just an outside linebacker, period.
And he's 5th at best,
right,
at that position. But then for another one, I didn't even put like players. I just said WR2. Like it's
good one.
Roman Wilson had some ups, also had some downs. Calvin Austin has been banged up like almost all training camp.
And I'd be fine with those two if there was a wide receiver too.
Yeah,
that's not what they are now, that they ever will be,
Honestly, I think the most consistent receiver in camp other than DK Metcalf was Scotty Miller.
Yeah, good one. I went with Skoranek early, but then he kind of faded.
Yeah.
Woods hasn't done a lot for me, but I think Miller's making a pretty strong push to make the team.
Okay, so you said Fautanu earlier. I'm going to go one more winner, and I'm going to say Broderick Jones. I thought
nobody wants to give him any credit.
Yeah, I actually did a chalk talk today on him, like broke down his film.
Yeah,
he had one really, really bad rep like really, really bad. He had his hands batted down and he like went forward and
You talking about during the game?
Yeah. It was, okay. I think it was his last rep, actually. It was not a good rep at all. But overall, it was really good. I mean, he didn't allow any pressures. The one sack that was allowed was not on anyone else other than the quarterback.
Right.
And then I'd say
I know Friday Night Lights wasn't his best time. Don't get me wrong.
It's bad.
But I do want to say about this guy, and you mentioned it, that the one bad rep in the game, his bad is real bad. Yeah. You know, like you don't have to be much of an O-line expert to be like, whoa, but it's almost like I wrote an article about Lamar Jackson after his rookie year, and I broke down every one of his throws as a rookie year. And I'm like, his accuracy is not as bad as you think. It's just when he misses bad, but it still counts as an incompletion the same way. You know,
yeah,
he doesn't lose pretty, I guess is the way I could say about Broderick.
He does not. And one of the things that I saw, and I'm not a scout, I'm not a coach or anything, but the one thing that I know that like kind of drives coaches crazy when it comes to tackles and pass protection is when they lower their head. To go into any kind of contact. Because if you lose, you cannot recover. Like recovery is completely impossible. Mm-hmm. And he did that a couple times. Now he won because he landed, but if you do that and you miss, it's gonna look really, really bad.
And that's actually one of the true tests of highly, highly athletic, gifted players is they can do the technique wrong and still win. And he does that, you know, like he can still win even when he does it wrong.
And no, but I don't think anybody's denying his size, his strength, his athleticism. He still
really well.
He does, and he's moving better that he's dropped the weight. So I thought overall, it was a really, really rough start, but I thought final 5 practices, including the preseason game, really, really strong finish, and I'd say encouraging finish. I'm not ready to go out there and say Broderick Jones is going to be top 10 left tackle in the league this year.
Right.
Not ready to go say that. But based off of what I've seen, could Broderick Jones be an average left tackle this year? And
to me, it's feasible. The question to ask is it worth picking up his 5th-year option? If the answer is yes, good. You got to make that decision now. I do not want to go shopping for a left tackle when I want to go shopping for a quarterback.
Absolutely. Because left tackles are not cheap.
Right. First-round picks go into one of those 2 positions. And if I have my left tackle, it's not going there. And if I don't, then I am scared, you know.
Let's see. All right. Well, let's do a bonus question.
Sure.
For Matt. Cody drops $5. Appreciate that, Cody. And he has a question for Matt. Matt, I always listen to your fantasy advice on the drive. Last year, you helped me win a game by putting in Kraft from the Packers. Any advice before his fantasy draft? I
was reading this just briefly, and I saw Kraft from the Packers. I was like, dude, that's my favorite tight end this year in a big, big way. Now, I'll be honest. Like, for me, fantasy season really kicks off basically today. Like, when I get home from camp is when I dive in the deep end for fantasy and really start to build my board. So I'm a little rough around the edges compared to normal, but I will say Kraft is absolutely one of my favorite targets. I think he's maybe the next big time star at that position. I'm really fading like Tyreek. He's a guy. I just pulled up my early list here. DJ Moore is someone I'm staying away from. Calvin Ridley's a target of mine.
Okay.
And just to bring it back to the Steelers, I think Pickens could have a really big year for where he's getting drafted. He's getting drafted like wide receiver 35 or something like that.
Pickens or Metcalf?
Pickens.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Metcalf's going to get a ton of targets. I think Pickens could score a lot of touchdowns.
I think so too. So where would you put? And we play against each other in one league, so I'm not trying to get any intel or anything because I already have an idea of where I'm going to put him. Where would you put Metcalf? Is he like a solid WR2?
I'm pulling up my list. He is wide receiver 20. So the couple right ahead of him I have Mike Evans at 17. I have Marvin Harrison Jr. at 18. McLaurin at 19. I'm really high on Waddle. It's part of his reasons because I'm not high on Tyreek Hill. So I have Waddle at 21, Rashee Rice, but he might get suspended at 22. So he's right in that neighborhood. I have him at 20.
I'd put Metcalf above Harrison Jr. That's me though.
Yeah.
It's a wash at that point. It's a wash at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's only because I think I trust Aaron Rodgers to get DK Metcalf the ball more consistently than Kyler Murray to get the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr. more consistently.
I mean, I bet he averages 8.5 targets a game. Metcalf.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like with Metcalf, he's going to get a lot of targets. That is one of the, obviously the biggest appeals when it comes to fantasy is volume. And that's why, like, unfortunately for both Pat Freiermuth and Jonnu Smith, like, it's hard to trust either one of them in fantasy. Like, they could be great for the Steelers offense, but fantasy value, it's
that trade destroyed both those guys for fantasy.
It really did. Yeah. Like before the trade, like Jonnu Smith, he's maybe a like top 10 or top 5 tight end in
88 catches last year, right?
Yeah, but
now he's not in the top 12.
No, he should not be starting for
right. No,
So, all right. Well, that was a nice little fantasy corner to wrap up the Southside beat here. We'll be back next week. Don't know what day exactly, but either way, we'll be back. We'll have another preseason game to talk about because the Steelers play the Buccaneers on Saturday at Acrisure Stadium. I will be on hand for that. And then actually, if we do this right, we'll probably be doing this right before the final preseason game of the season.
That adds up. Yeah.
So,
Well, I got a wrinkle there. I got to take my son to University of Kentucky and drop him off for good. So the day or two before I'm going to be tied up.
So maybe the next time we talk will actually be after preseason's already done.
Maybe.
We'll see. Yeah. We'll see. We'll figure that out. Either way, thank you guys for tuning into this one. Really appreciate you guys tuning in, all the comments, everything like that. We really, really appreciate it. But either way, catch you guys on the Flippity Flip. See you later.